Hello students. This is Dr. Komal Tahilyani and I am again here with an entirely new topic of compiler design, which is simplification of grammar. In today's lecture, we will be studying about grammar simplification. So if we are talking about simplification of grammar, so what exactly simplification of grammar means is it is reduction of grammar by removing useless symbols. What we need to do is we need to simplify the grammar by basically by removing useless symbols and useless terminologies used in the grammar. We can say that every variable or every terminal, whichever is appearing in a grammar, if it is useless, then we need to remove it. So there should not be any production as extends to y, where x and y are non-terminals. So basically we need to check whether our grammar is simplified or not, and if it is not, then we need to do it by removing useless symbols, by eliminating all the epsilon productions, and by removing the unit production. So if we are talking about reducing the grammar, then it can be done by making use of three steps as shown in figure. The first step is we can do it by removing our useless symbols used in the grammar. In our second step, we can eliminate the epsilon production. If we find any kind of epsilon productions in the grammar, then we can eliminate those epsilon productions. The third step is the removal of unit production. So we need to check how many unit productions are present in our grammar, and if we found any unit productions in our grammar, then we have to remove it. So these are the ways or the techniques through which we can reduce our grammar. Now moving ahead, starting with the first one, that is, as we discussed already, that the first procedure to remove or to reduce the grammar is removal of useless symbol. Moving ahead with this, what exactly removal of useless symbol is, we need to say first that so a symbol can be useless if it does not appear on the right hand side of the production rule. So what its definition says is a symbol can be useless. A symbol can be useless if it does not appear on the right hand side of the production rule, and I'm repeating again, and if it is does not taking part in any of the derivation in any of the string. That is, if any symbol you found in your grammar which is not taking part in the derivation of any string, then that particular symbol is said to be or is termed as the useless symbol. Okay, so that symbol is known as useless symbol. So we need to remove such kind of symbol. First step is we need to identify these kind of useless symbol in the grammar, and after the identification we need to remove these kinds of useless symbols from our grammar in order to make our grammar more appropriate for use, right? So how we can do is, now I'm going to take this example to better understand the concept. Now as shown in the example, we have a production. Now in this grammar we have four productions, right? Or if we elaborate, we have seven production if we because we have three productions in with non-terminal s, right? So in this particular production, c tends to dc is said to be useless. Why? Because the variable c will never occur in the derivation of any string. That is, the variable c is not deriving any particular string. Hence we can say that variable c is useless, right? Similarly, if we take the example of b tends to ab is also a useless, because there is no way through which it can be terminated, right? You can even say that b cannot participate in the derivation of any string. So such type of symbols are said to be useless, and thus they have to be eliminated from the grammar in order to make it more appropriate for the use. So what we need to do, we have in this particular example, what we have done, we have identified the useless variables, right? So after identification of these variables, we need to eliminate them, because we don't want these useless symbols in our productions, right? So we have found two productions from the given example, and now these two productions has to be removed from the grammar for making it more appropriate. So we need to modify our grammar, in other words, right? So the modified grammar will become, you can take the example s tends to abs will be the first production which we are going to include in our modified grammar. Then s tends to aba will be there because no terminal b is there, but s tends to abb will not be there since it is a useless symbol. Which, what is the useless symbol? Which one is the useless symbol? B is the useless symbol, as we have discussed. Okay, so the production s tends to a, small b and capital B will not be there in a modified grammar. I hope I am pretty clear with this concept, how we are going to remove this particular production. Coming on to a tends to cd, this will be definitely included because there no terminal b is present in this production, or no terminal non-terminal c is present in this production. Coming on to b tends to ab, definitely we have to remove it because non-terminal b is there, which is useless for us, so we are not going to include this production. Lastly, c tends to dc, we will be c tends to dc we need to avoid because it is a useless one. So s tends to abs oblique abb and a tends to cd, these productions will be finally added in a modified grammar. Okay, so I hope it is clear to you how we can identify a useless grammar, useless variables from a given particular grammar or from given particular example, and how we can, after identification of useless variables, how we are going to remove it. Okay, so moving ahead with the next important concept used for reduction of grammar is elimination of epsilon production. So first thing is, as we discussed, we need to remove the useless productions or useless variables, right? The second step which we makes use of while reducing a grammar is elimination of epsilon production. So elimination of epsilon production is the very important step, in which first we need to identify all the productions in a grammar which contains epsilon, right? So we need to go through all the productions, and accordingly we need to remove all the epsilon production because they are making unnecessary storage they are taking, and it is making no use to us, right? So it is, as it is of no use, we need to eliminate those productions from the grammar. Now again, I would like to take one example to make it more clear to you. Considering this particular example, as you can see, we have three productions in our grammar. S tends to xyx, x tends to 0x oblique epsilon, and y tends to 1y oblique epsilon. I don't need to mention here that we have two productions having epsilon values, that is x tends to epsilon and y tends to epsilon. Now while removing epsilon production, we are basically deleting the rule x tends to epsilon and y tends to epsilon. I am repeating once again, for eliminating epsilon production, what we need to do, we just need to delete or eliminate the production, or you can say the rule, which is x tends to epsilon and y tends to epsilon. Now we can't directly remove it, and we can't take it that we have just removed it and that's it. No, while removing we need to preserve the meaning of cfg. Okay, so after eliminating, or you can say while eliminating the epsilon production, we need to preserve the meaning of cfg also. So for that we need to see what right hand side contains. If the right hand side of production is containing epsilon, then we need to go ahead with it, and we need to replace the epsilon values. That is, as you can see in this particular example, I have replaced x with 0, x with 0x, and x with y. So in this way, basically wherever the epsilon value is, that value has to be replaced with something or the other. Okay, so in this particular example, I have replaced epsilon with 0 and epsilon with 1. Why? Because if I am substituting x as 0, I am getting 0x by 0, and if I am substituting y as 1, then I am getting 1y oblique 1. So this would be the solution which I am going to substitute in place of epsilon. So by eliminating epsilon, I am just substituting epsilon. I'm not just eliminating epsilon as it is. I am substituting epsilon with some value that has to be replaced with some value. So 0 and 1 in this case are the values which has to be replaced with in place of epsilon, that is it is replacing epsilon. So in this way we can modify our grammar so that it is more convenient to be used. Coming on to the third rule or the third method which is used for basically simplifying the grammar is removing unit productions. So what basically unit production means, that we need to understand. So unit production is when one non-terminals gives you another non-terminal. That means if you have one non-terminal on the left hand side and another non-terminal on the right hand side. Okay, so in this you can take the example of x tends to y as we have taken. So x and y, both these terms are the non-terminals, that is I am having one non-terminal x on left hand side and another non-terminal y on right hand side. So what is the rule, how we can remove these non-terminals or or unit productions is, the step number 1 says to remove x tends to y we need to add production x tends to a to the grammar rule whenever y tends to a occurs in the grammar. Okay, this will be more clear to you when we'll see one example in next slide. So just try to understand what it is explaining is, whenever we are finding any unit production in a grammar, that is x tends to y kind of thing, then we need to add x tends to a to the grammar. At which situation, whenever I am finding y tends to a in the grammar, at that time I need to add x tends to a. Okay, now coming on to step number 2, which says delete x tends to y from the, now I can delete x tends to y from the grammar. But both these steps 1 and 2 will be repeated until all unit productions are removed from my grammar. For example, if I'm having 3 unit productions, then I need to repeat these steps till I get the conclusion or till I remove all the unit productions, right? So it would be more clear to you if we'll take some example again. So considering one more example in this case to explain this particular concept is, I am taking this example in which S, A, B, C, I have 4 productions or 4 rules you can say. In this, S tends to C, as you can see, is a unit production. Why? Because we are having S, which is a non-terminal on the left hand side, and C, which is again a non-terminal on the right hand side. Similarly, B tends to A is also also a unit production, because B is a non-terminal and A is again a non-terminal, right? So since S tends to C is a unit production, so we need to remove it, right? But while removing S tends to C, we have to consider what production C is generating or what rules C is generating. Since you can see in this grammar C tends to 0 1, we have only one production with C, that is C tends to 0 1. So in place of C we need to substitute 0 1. That is, if I am considering the production S tends to 0a oblique 1b oblique C, and if I am eliminating the production S tends to C, then in that place I need to add production on the right hand side of the non-terminal C, that is 0 1. So in place of C I need to write 0 1. I hope it is pretty clear to you why we are adding 0 1, because I am replacing C with 0 1 because I need to eliminate C. I cannot take this particular production S tends to C in my grammar as it is a unit production, so I am going to eliminate C. So for eliminating C I would be writing 0 1. Okay, similarly if I am taking the example of B tends to A, that is again a unit production, so we can modify it, that is I need to replace A. I cannot include this production B tends to A in my grammar, so I need to replace A. And with whom I can replace it? I have 2 options with A, that is A tends to 0s oblique 0 0. So in place of A I can write 0s oblique 0 0. That's what I have written. You can see it at the last statement, b tends to 1 oblique in place of a I have written 0s oblique 0 0. So basically in this manner we can remove the unit production from our grammar. So finally our modified grammar will be s tends to 0a oblique 1b oblique 0 1, a tends to 0s oblique 0 0, b tends to 1 oblique 0s oblique 0 0, and c tends to 0 1. I hope students you must have understood this basic concepts of reducing or simplifying the grammar. So in today's lecture basically we saw three methods of reducing any particular grammar by preserving its meaning also. So for basically for reducing the grammar we would be applying three methods which we saw today. First one was useless symbol. We need to eliminate useless symbol from our grammar. Second was eliminating the epsilon production, whatever number of productions we are having with epsilon, that has to be identified and removed. And third one was unit production. We need to identify all the unit productions from our grammar and we need to eliminate it. I hope this lecture is pretty easy for you to understand. It will help you to simplify the grammar, and if you practice more you will be more comfortable with the topic taught. Okay, see you with another topic in our next lecture. Take care.